Have you ever felt lost, not just in place but in identity? Greetings everyone. Today, we unravel the enigma of Kaspar Hauser, a boy who emerged from the shadows in 1828. Carrying with him a tale so bewildering that it would become Germany's greatest 19th-century mystery. From cryptic letters to royal conspiracies, let's journey through the life of this mysterious boy and the rumors that he might have been a prince. If you find this video interesting, please support us by hitting the like button. Now, let's get started. In 1828, a mysterious boy appeared in the city of Nuremberg, Germany. He wore tattered clothes and walked in a strange, waddling manner. A shoemaker saw him and called out to him, but no matter what questions he asked, the boy was unable to engage in conversation, seemingly due to significant difficulty with speech. The boy was taken to the police. The boy repeatedly provided unintelligible responses during police questioning. He could speak only a few words, and kept repeating the same phrases. "I want to be a cavalryman like my father." "Mama, I don't understand," and so on. The police gave him a piece of paper and a pencil, after which he began to write slowly. The paper revealed the name, Kaspar Hauser. Additionally, the boy's eyes were bright red, unaccustomed to sunlight, and the soles of his feet were covered with blisters, suggesting he had never walked before. He also had two mysterious letters. The first was supposedly written by a poor laborer, and addressed to the leader of the army. He wrote, "Dear Captain, I am sending you a young man who wishes to become a cavalryman. He came to me in 1812. I am a poor laborer as I write this. I was asked by the boy's mother to raise him. Since then I have forbidden him to go outside, and have kept him locked up in the house all the time. He knows nothing. If you do not take this boy in, choose to beat him to death or hang him." It's a deeply disturbing and suspicious letter. Now, let's consider the second letter, which was purportedly written by the boy's mother. The second letter, purportedly from his mother, read, "His name is Caspar. He was born on April 30th, 1812. I am poor and my father is dead. When he turns 17, please take him to the Nuremberg cavalry." This letter from his mother reveals that he is 16 years old. But after interviewing him and reading the letter, the police had no idea who he was or where he came from. Kaspar Hauser was then taken into the care of a guard named Andreas Hertel at Nuremberg Castle. Gradually, he was able to walk and his vocabulary grew. However, he had unusual habits and characteristics. For instance, he refused the beer and sausages offered to him. Kaspar Hauser consumed nothing but bread and water, rejecting any other food. He had never seen a candle or a mirror, yet he possessed special abilities. He could tell whether something in front of him was a raspberry or a blackberry from 100 paces away. And he had eyes that could see well in the dark. His sense of smell was remarkably acute. The faintest whiff of alcohol could trigger convulsions, and the pervasive odor of decay in a cemetery was enough to immobilize him. Kaspar Hauser was believed to be a wild child, speculated to have grown up in untamed wilderness due to his difficulties with speech and walking. But later, with the generous help of those around him, including a politician who tutored him and a famous scholar, Feuerbach, who took care of him as a research subject, Kaspar Hauser gradually became able to speak and draw. He eventually began to share his astonishing past, stating, "I've been in the dark all my life." According to him, he has lived in a dark, cell-like room, not outside, for as long as he can remember. There was a straw bed and a wooden toy in the shape of a horse. And there was a man who brought him bread and water every day. But he had never seen the man's face. Incidentally, after his horrific discovery, Kaspar Hauser lived with the help of various people. One day, while at the home of a scholar, to whom he was indebted, he drank water that contained opium. After taking a sip, he remarked, "This water tastes terrible, exactly like the water I was sometimes forced to drink in my cage back then." Kaspar Hauser's existence came to the mayor's attention and was reported in the newspapers, making him a household name. The whole country was talking about him, wondering who he was and where he had come from. Of course, there were those who thought he was an impostor who was acting or a liar. But the most rumored theory was that he was a prince. It is still believed that he was the son of Archduke Karl of Baden and his wife Stephanie, whose baby heir died in 1812. The family was cursed with a string of misfortunes, and after the death of the baby in 1812, their second son, born 4 years later, also died. This second son was rumored to have been possibly poisoned, and 2 years later, his father, Archduke Karl, also died. All that remained were the girls. The family came to an end, as no one was able to take the position of Grand Duke right away. It struck me as odd that this was a series of male deaths in the royal family. There were also those who benefited from this series of deaths. Louise Caroline, the wife of Archduke Karl's grandfather. She was married to a nobleman, too low in status compared to her husband. And the children she bore were not entitled to the Grand Duke's succession. But now that the male heirs of the Karl family were gone, her children could take the title of Grand Duke. She was quite ambitious. So, Kaspar Hauser must be this baby who is believed to have died in 1812. In order to give the title of Grand Duke to his own child, Louise had instructed that the baby, who was to succeed to the title of Grand Duke, i.e., Kaspar Hauser, be replaced by another deceased baby. And so it came to be thought that Caspar was kept locked up in a secret dungeon. Incidentally, in 1832, Feuerbach, a jurist who protected Kaspar Hauser, published a book entitled Kaspar Hauser, in which he detailed the facts about him. The cause of his death was shrouded in mystery, and there were rumors that he may have been poisoned because he knew too much. Then came a further incident in 1831. Kaspar Hauser was placed in the care of a strict man named Meyer, who was the principal of the school in Ansbach, Germany. On December 14, 1833, "Oh my God, I have been stabbed in the left breast." Kaspar Hauser returned home every night with a deep wound in his left breast. Kaspar Hauser reported that an unknown man in black had invited him to a park to discuss his background, but then stabbed him. Later, when the police searched the park, they found a suspicious bag and a small note in his wallet. The note was written in mirrored letters and looked very bad. The contents of the note read, "Hauser would be able to tell you exactly where I am. But to save him the trouble, I will tell you where I come from. I come from the Bavarian border. I will even tell you my name." The letter was left behind, like something out of a mystery novel. 3 days after he was stabbed, Kaspar Hauser died at the young age of 21. This left Kaspar Hauser's identity a mystery. Following the incident, a police investigation commenced. Notably, there was snow on the ground the day he was stabbed. However, they discovered just a single set of footprints belonging to Caspar in the snow. Additionally, they found a note written in mirrored letters inside his wallet. There were spelling and grammatical errors, which Kaspar Hauser often made. Also, according to Mrs. Meyer, the letter was folded in a triangle, the way Kaspar Hauser used to fold letters when he wrote them. Medical experts believed that the incident was caused by him. The king, Ludwig I, offered a large bounty for the capture of the killer. But the culprit was never caught. Kaspar Hauser was buried in the city cemetery. The grave is inscribed in Latin, "Here lies Kaspar Hauser." A 2023 study suggests Kaspar Hauser had a history of post-vaccination smallpox, casting doubt on his story. Could Hauser have fabricated some elements of his mysterious past? In Munich, a permanent smallpox vaccination site had been set up in the city hall since 1809. With the support of the king. For this vaccination, children were required to have an adult present, and the personal data of the vaccinated were meticulously recorded. Thus, it is highly improbable that Kaspar Hauser was vaccinated in secret. Despite Kaspar Hauser's alleged life in darkness and his minimal diet, he showed no signs of conditions like scurvy. Furthermore, his rapid skill acquisition in reading, arithmetic, drawing, and watercolor raises questions. Considering his supposed lack of long-term social interactions, these inconsistencies cast doubt on his story. All of this makes it very likely that Kaspar Hauser was lying. In 2002, the University of Munster, Germany, analyzed hair, cells, and clothing that belonged to Kaspar Hauser, a descendant of Stephanie, the wife of Karl's opponent. cooperated in this study and submitted a DNA sample. This means that if Kaspar Hauser was indeed of royal descent, the connection would be through his mother's lineage and her descendants. The test results revealed a notable similarity in DNA, though not a perfect match, thus introducing an element of uncertainty. The relationship cannot be proven with certainty, adding another layer of mystery to Kaspar Hauser's story. However, there remains a significant possibility of his connection to the royal family, though it's based on speculation. Despite the results of these investigations, the Baden family, which continues to this day, refuses to make any comments about Kaspar Hauser. They have also refused to allow DNA testing of Stephanie's own remains, which still exist today. Thus, the true identity of Kaspar Hauser remains a mystery. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. Take care and see you in the next video. Goodbye.